Hello, students, and a very warm welcome to you all. Today, we're going to talk about something that is, quite literally, the backbone of our country's industry. We're talking about ferrous minerals. We'll find out what they are, where we can find them in India, and why they are so important for everything we see around us. So, let's begin.
So here is our plan for today. First, we'll start with the basics. What does ferrous even mean? Then we'll get into the details of the two main types of iron ore. After that, we are going on a little trip across India to look at the major iron ore belts. We'll also learn about another very important mineral, manganese. And finally, we will do a quick recap, and I will give you a very important tip for your exam.
All right, before we dive deep, let's warm up our brains a little bit, shall we? Have a look at this question. What do you think is the common link between a railway track, a big machine in a factory, and a huge, towering building? Think about it for a second. What is that one single material that connects them all? The answer is at the heart of our lesson today. Okay, let's jump right into our first section. This is the foundation for everything else we are going to learn today. It's a simple idea, but a very important one. So, what are ferrous minerals? Well, the clue is right there in the name. The word ferrous actually comes from the Latin word for iron. So it's really simple. Ferrous minerals are metallic minerals that have iron in them. And, they're incredibly important for our economy. They make up about 3/4, that's a whopping 75%, of the total value of all metallic minerals we produce. Now, this brings us to a line that you must remember from your textbook. In fact, you should probably highlight it. Iron ore is the basic mineral and the backbone of industrial development. Why do we say that? Well, because iron ore is used to make steel. And just think about it. Steel is everywhere, from the smallest safety pin to the huge skyscrapers we just mentioned. Our modern world just could not function without it. Now, India is very lucky. We have large reserves of good quality iron ore. But, and this is very important for your exams, not all iron ore is the same. There are two main types that you need to know about: magnetite and hematite. So, let's look at the differences. Okay, let's compare them. First, magnetite. Think of this as the finest quality, the premium stuff. It has a very high iron content, up to 70%. And as the name suggests, it has excellent magnetic qualities, which makes it really valuable for the electrical industry. Now, on the other hand, we have hematite. Its iron content is a little lower, but it is the real workhorse. It is the most important industrial iron ore because of the quantity we use. So, to keep it simple, magnetite is better quality, but hematite is the one we use the most. All right, now that we know what iron ore is, let's find out where it is. So get ready, we're going on a little tour across India to explore the 4 major iron ore belts. Please pay close attention because this is a very common map question in your board exams. Our first stop is in the eastern part of India. Here we find the Odisha-Jharkhand belt. You can see on the map how it covers parts of both states. This area is a huge center for iron ore mining in our country. So, what should you remember about this belt? Well, first, it has high-grade hematite ore. That means really good quality ore. And for your exams, please remember these names: the Badamahar mines in Odisha, and Gua and Noah Mundi in Jharkhand. These are important places to know. Okay, from the east, let's travel towards the center of India. Our next stop is the Durg-Bastar-Chandrapur belt. As you can see, this one lies across Cheskot and Maharashtra. It's another major player. Now, this belt is really special. It's famous for the Baladila Hills in Chhattisgarh, which have super high-grade hematite. You could say it's the best of the best. And here's a very interesting fact about this belt. The ore is so good that it is exported to other countries, like Japan and South Korea, from the Vishakhapatnam port. Our tour now takes us all the way to the south, to the state of Karnataka. Here we find our third belt, the Ballari-Chitradurga-Chikamagaluru-Tumakuru belt. Yes, I know that's a very long name, but don't worry, it's a very important area. This belt in Karnataka is known for the Kudramuck mines. And listen to this. These mines have one of the largest reserves of iron ore in the entire world. But what's really interesting here is how they transport the ore. They mix it with water to create a thick liquid called a slurry. You can imagine it like a muddy milkshake. And then they pump it through a huge pipeline to a port near Mangaluru for export. Amazing, isn't it? And for our final stop, we're heading to the west coast of India. This is the Maharashtra-Goa belt. As its name tells us, it covers the state of Goa and the Ratnagiri district of Maharashtra. So the iron ore that we find here, it's not of very high quality, not like the ore in the other belts we saw. But that doesn't mean it's not useful.
it is still mined very efficiently and exported through the Marmagao port in Goa. This just shows us that every resource, even if it's lower grade, has its value. Okay, we've talked a lot about iron ore, but iron ore has a best friend, you could say, a partner that helps it become strong steel. And that partner is manganese. Its main job is to make steel stronger, and it is an absolutely essential ingredient. 10 kilograms. I want you to remember this number. Why is it important? Well, to make 1 ton of steel, that's 1,000 kilograms, we need nearly 10 kilograms of manganese. It might not sound like a lot, but it is the secret ingredient that makes all the difference. So what does manganese actually do? Well, you can think of it like a vitamin for steel. It makes it much stronger and tougher. But manganese is a multi-talented mineral. It is also used to make things like bleaching powder, insecticides, and even paints. So where does all this important manganese come from in India? Let's have a look. The biggest producer is Madhya Pradesh. It produces about 1/3 of all the manganese in our country. Right behind it, we have Maharashtra and then Odisha. Phew! We have learned a lot today, haven't we? So let's take a moment and quickly go over the most important points. And please don't go anywhere, because after this recap, I have a very special exam tip for you. Okay, quick recap. Point 1. Ferrous means iron, and iron is the backbone of industry. Got it? Good. Point 2. Magnetite is the best quality, but hematite is the most used. Point 3. We have 4 major iron ore belts in the east, central, south, and west of India. And point 4. Manganese is steel's best friend. It's what makes steel strong. All right, now for the exam tip I promised. This is how you can get full marks, a full 5 marks for a question on India's iron ore belts. Listen carefully. First, start with a short introduction. You must use that phrase, backbone of industrial development. The examiner is looking for it. Then make 4 separate points, 1 for each belt with a clear heading. For each belt, just mention the states and 1 unique fact about it, like the export to Japan or the slurry pipeline. Finally, write a simple 1-line conclusion. If you follow this structure, you are guaranteed to do very well. And before we finish, I want to leave you with a big question to think about. We know we need these minerals for our country's development, but mining can also harm our environment. So, the question is, how can we find a balance? There is no easy answer, but it is something that all of us, especially your generation, will need to think about. That's all for today. Thank you for joining me, and all the very best for your studies.